That's right. These sweet little kitties ate a whole magic eraser. And in today's video, I'm going to share the saga of how this whole commission went sideways. And luckily, I chose the right paint and the right paper that really saved my bleep so that I didn't have to completely start over. So I'm going to share with you what saved my ever-loving arse from having to start this painting over. And so let's jump into the whole saga of what happened with these sweet little kitties. And aren't they angelic looking? They were very naughty. But first, my name is Rachel Parker Varner, and I like to teach not just the how, but the why of watercolor so you move along your painting journey a lot faster. And at the end of this video, I'll tell you about my paid online school. But for now, let me tell you about my free communities. I've got a free Facebook group where you can post your paintings, or you can post on my Patreon for free in the chat section, or you can paste right here on the YouTube app, not on desktop. And I'll put all those links right here, and be sure to check out the description for links to videos I talk about, affiliate links to products I suggest, and some free tutorials and how to join my free communities and all kinds of other good things. I will put that in a pinned comment. So be sure to check that out. But let's dive in to what happened with this painting and how it went through a whole magic eraser. I'll start at the beginning. Before I even started painting this, I had problems. And this happens with commissions all the time, where the client gives you a reference photo and a lot of it is not usable. For example, there's two cats and there's a vase of flowers, and the vase of flowers is really stealing all the attention. There's these bright orange flower right in the middle. The vase of flowers is about the same size and same shape as the cats, which compositionally looks really boring to have a cat, a vase of flowers the same size, and another cat. So I had to go search the internet to find just the right vase of flowers that was wider and quieter to support these kitties instead of taking the attention away from them. Because just look at them. Do you think that they would stand for that, to have a vase of flowers take attention away from them? Not these kitties. So I found this image and I was off to the races. I found this nice wide and kind of shorter vase of flowers with white sprays. So I could use that in the background to pull everything together. And I'll tell you a little bit later how I added pink flowers to pull the painting together even more, and why that pulled the painting together. So that's a whole thing. Okay, so another thing that I did to change this painting was I added window panes behind the cats. And there's going to be a lot of chaos in this painting because the flowers are going to be going everywhere. There's the soft cats, there's their eyes, lots going on in this painting. And I needed something that would tie it all together, almost literally like you use a ribbon to tie a gift together when you wrap a gift. And when you wrap a gift, the ribbon goes vertically and horizontally. It connects all four sides to each other, and it ties the gift together. The same thing happens in a painting. Often you have a vertical element and then you need a horizontal element to balance that. So I knew I needed that in this painting, so that's why I put the window panes in. So far so good, right? Right. So then I take a look at my reference photo and the cats look very orange, and I was happy artistically about that because orange is a hot color. Think fire, think the sun. Cool colors are blue, think ice. Warm colors are yellow, also think the sun. But hot colors are like fire. So orange in the fur would make these cats come forward. Hot colors come forward. They scream for attention. You got to be real careful when you use hot colors in your paintings and be really delicate with them usually. And so I was happy because the orange in these cats' fur would help pull the attention towards them instead of the flowers and everything else that's going on in this painting. So I proceeded with my happy artistic self to paint their fur orange. And I was happy. And then I showed my client and she said, their fur isn't orange, I really want it gray. And I was like, oh no. But thank goodness I used, here we go with the tricks that you all want to know, non-staining paint. I used non-staining paint on paper that would take erasing. What paper is that? Arch cold press will take vigorous scrubbing. from a magic eraser, and then you can still paint on top of it. And if I wouldn't have used that paper with these colors, and I will share some of the other colors that I used later that I also had to erase, because this is only the first phase of erasing. There's going to be more. And by the way, if my client actually sees this video, I just want to say I really wasn't upset. I mean, I feel like I got a fair price for this commission, and I am a glutton for punishment. Hey, I'm a watercolorist. Watercolor is just always a series of fixing mistakes. So I was up for the challenge. I like a challenge. And if I didn't, I shouldn't be painting watercolor. So it's okay. So I erased the orange out of the fur. I was like, okay, I'm back on track. Only to find out pretty soon, no, I'm not going to be on track. So I'm really excited. In fact, I have this new color that I love playing with, and it's called manganese. And the one that I have is apparently a rare pigment. I think it's PB33, and I bought mine from a little Italian company called Della Magna, and it's gorgeous. And this is the same color that I used to make this cat eyes so beautiful. I have whole videos, by the way, about my very unique approach to painting eyes that really makes them alive, and people really comment on my eyes in my paintings all the time. So be sure to check out my cat playlist if you want to paint cats. And also, a few months ago, I published a tutorial about how to paint eyes, and those tips apply to cats, humans, dogs, anything. I use the same tips on this poodle painting that will be a tutorial soon on these eyes. So it's a dog, but I use the same tricks. And it has to do with the saying I say in all my tutorials, which is values do all the work, color steals the glory. So you don't have to use this fancy manganese blue paint, by the way, to get these beautiful cat eyes. But I'm getting off topic. The next crazy turn that this painting took was that I thought I had it all done. I had these beautiful shadows in their chest with this beautiful manganese color and these greens, and it tied together with everything else in the painting, like the blues in their eyes were also the blues in the shadows, and that helps tie it all together. It was just so perfect. But it wasn't, because if the client doesn't like it, it's not good. And so luckily, these colors are also non-staining. So the colors that I used in the chest were manganese blue, mostly, cobalt blue, and Daniel Smith permanent green light. And I sent the picture to the client, and she said, that doesn't look like the other cats you painted for me. I want them to have a more natural fur color. Can you take out the blues and greens, which I thought looked so beautiful. And so I was like, yes. So I pulled back out my magic eraser. And by the way, to use magic eraser, for those of you who still haven't heard about this hack, it's going all over the internet for years, but it started with John Salmon for me. I learned about it from John Salmon years ago. He's amazing. But your paint has to be dry. You have to be using tough enough paper. You have to be using non-staining paint. And so the paint is dry, you get your magic eraser wet, and you scrub the snot out of it. And it'll erase almost everything. And so I had to erase those colors out. So then I was scared. I'm like, what else is this client gonna throw at me? She threw at me. I almost said she threw up on me, but she didn't. She wouldn't do that. But she also wanted me to change the shape of the face. She wanted the vase to go all the way across instead of ending. And I was thinking it looks more balanced. It looks a little bit more wabi-sabi and unbalanced to not have cat, face, cat. And that was my thinking. But she wanted it to go all the way across evenly, which artistically I didn't agree with, but it's fine. That's what she wanted, and it looks fine. And so luckily, the colors that I was using for the shadows in the vase were very non-staining. That's French ultramarine blue, and most reds are staining, but my M gram naphthol red is fairly non-staining enough that you can erase a lot of it. In fact, that reminds me, I will also link in the comments a video, it's about 30 minutes long, going into a deep dive of the 10 colors I use almost exclusively. I rarely use any other colors other than this, except sometimes I use that fancy manganese blue because it's just so gorgeous. But I rarely use more colors than that. And I have a whole video about that. And they're all pretty much non-staining. Probably my most staining paint is Daniel Smith Lamp Black. and it's pretty non-staining too. So I had to erase the vase, half the vase. I had to erase the chest. I had to erase, what else did I have to erase? The chest, oh, and their fur. And that went through a whole magic eraser. But now you know how that was possible to do that huge of fixes when my painting was almost done. So if you would like to actually watch this footage from the very start to the very ending in real time, it's kind of like watching over my shoulder. It's not a tutorial, but it is a video demonstration where you can just watch me paint. And I do explain a lot along the way, but it's not like my more in-depth, more hand-holding tutorials where I do voiceover for the whole thing. So this is a good time to segue into my Patreon. I have uploaded this painting from start to finish in real time. Mostly, I've fast forwarded some of it, like the scrubbing and stuff, but you can watch it you can watch the whole thing on my Patreon in my paid tiers. So let me tell you a little bit about my paid tiers and what Patreon is and why I do that and why I do Patreon. And oh, but I was going to tell you one more thing. What was I going to tell you? I forget. Tell me in the comments. Did I forget to tell you something? Maybe about the blue eyes? No, I talk about that in another video. Okay. Oh, I remember what I was going to share with you. So I didn't have the blue in the eyes to pull the painting together anymore with the blues in the chest. So how was I going to do that? You know what I used? I love this. I put pink flowers scattered throughout the background that tied together with the nose. That's how I solved the problem of not having anything color-wise pulling everything together. And I really liked how that worked out. And hey, full disclosure, yes, I will try to tempt you to join my paid Patreon. It is my main source of income right now. And for those of you who don't know what Patreon is, it was created for people like me, artists, who it's hard to make a regular income. So in order to make a more steady income, Patreon was designed to allow people to support living artists that they enjoy getting content from. So in exchange for paying for my Patreon, you get access. You get instant access when you join a library of over 200 tutorials now from start to finish, many with in-depth voiceover and extra explanations about not just the how, but also the why. So sometimes, like in the first half of the tutorial, for example, I'll talk about how to design a good painting and how to see the shapes and what supplies you should use, and go into depth about all that to set you up for success. So once you start painting, you have a better idea about how to proceed. That's what I did for my newest Santa tutorial, which I'm so excited about. So y'all come paint this in real time with extra explanation about not just the how, but the why of watercolor. So it will save, I wish I would have had me when I started painting. It will save you years of figuring out things and not going down the wrong road, spinning your wheels. For example, beginners often spin their wheels trying to get the right color, the perfect mix, when really what they need to be worrying about is the values. That's why I'm always repeating. Values are the lights, mediums, and darks. And values do all the hard work. As Richard McKinley, another living artist, said, values do all the hard work and color steals the glory. But you won't know that unless you have someone teaching you these core principles that will help you not waste your energy on the wrong things, not focus on the wrong things, and go down a long dead end that will not get you anywhere. So that is one of the many benefits of joining my Patreon. So if you would like to learn more, go check out my Patreon. You can join my Patreon for free at patreon.com/RachelStudio. If you join for a year, you pay for 10 months and you get 2 months free. Also, when you join for a year, you get more in-depth access to me. You can email me a painting and get a critique or advice about how to move forward with a work in progress if you've come up against a roadblock. So those are the benefits of joining my paid Patreon, and I appreciate it so much because I've been painting as an artist for years, and I've seen the art world change again and again. It started with eBay. I did great on eBay until I didn't, because eBay stopped being art friendly. And then there was Etsy, and that was great until now we have artificial intelligence, which now people post artificial intelligence images, and that is flooding the print market, where I used to sell tons of prints. Now I sell less. And so I have pivoted to teaching online watercolor, and I think that is also obviously getting saturated. So I'm about to do another pivot, and it's going to be fun for all of us. So you're going to want to stay tuned for that too. So be sure to join my Patreon to stay in touch with me for the foreseeable future. And I think that's everything though. So I'm back on track, and the eyes are looking gorgeous. And by the way, if you get the eyes looking good, the rest of the painting is usually going to be successful, because human beings are wired to look at eyes. So if you paint beautiful eyes, you can make a lot of mistakes elsewhere, like all this erasing I had to do. And if the eyes look good, the painting's going to look pretty good. It's going to pull the viewer in with those gorgeous eyes, and they're not going to notice any other problems in the painting. So I was trying to think, how am I going to tie the blue in the cat's eyes with the rest of the painting though? Because if you have blue just in the eyes, you need it elsewhere in the painting. So remember how values do all the hard work and color steals the glory? That means in shadows, you can really play with color. So if you have blue eyes in a painting, but there's not much opportunity in the rest of the painting to have blue, you can put it in the shadows, because it doesn't matter about the color. It just matters if you get your values, your lights, mediums, and darks right. So I really play with color in my shadows these days, since I've learned that little trick of values of color not mattering nearly as much. Now that I know that color doesn't matter nearly as much as values. So anyway, that's a little sub tip. But anyway, I was really happy with these blues on the chest that I put the manganese blue and the Daniel Smith transparent green light, which are both non-staining colors. All right, thank you so much for joining me for this tutorial. I always have fun chatting with you guys in the comments, so I do hope to hear from you there. I hope to see you on my free Facebook group and or my chat section on my Patreon. Come and share your paintings and get to know me and my community, and we're always up to some sort of art shenanigans. Right now we're throwing around ideas for doing a cruise in a year or two. And so apparently that's going to be a bit of an odyssey to get that booked, because we need meeting space. But we're going to have a lot of fun. You're not going to want to miss out. So come join my community. We're having a lot of fun. And until next time, go watercolor your world. Bye, everybody.